Hello, friends, and welcome to tonight's reading. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope you wear your cozy pajamas. Miss Erica's going to be wearing her cozy pajamas all month long. I have some polar bears and some trees on my pajamas. What do you have on your pajamas? Oh, that's so nice. Well, once again, thank you for coming tonight. We're going to be reading Curious George Visits a Toy Store and Brown Bear, what do you see? Let's start with Brown Bear, what do you see? And do you remember what the author of the book does? Yes, writes the words. And what about the illustrator? Yes, draws the picture. The author of the book writes the words. The illustrator draws the pictures. Brown Bear, what do you see? Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see. Oh, now can you point out your favorite animal on here? Ooh, all right. Cool. Thank you for doing that. Brown bear, what do you see? Brown bear, what do you see? Wow, good book. Now let's move on to Curious George Visits a Toy Store. Have you ever been to a toy store before? Okay, this is George. He was a good little monkey and always curious. Today, George was opening a brand new toy store. George and the man with the yellow hat did not want to be late. When they arrived, the line to go inside wound all the way around the corner. When a line is this long, it's not easy for a little monkey to be patient. George sneaked through the crowd. All he wanted was a peek inside. George got to the drawer just as the owner opened it. "This is no place for a monkey," she said. But George was so excited, he was already inside. Balls, dolls, bicycles, and games filled the shelves. There were so many toys. George didn't even know how some of them worked. And how about these hoops? What did they do? George was curious. He climbed up to pull one out of the pile. It would not move. George pulled harder. Still, it wouldn't move. George pulled with all fours. Oh no. Let's see what's going to happen. Suddenly, there was a terrible crash. Red, blue, green, and yellow hoops bounced up and down and everywhere. Look, exclaimed a boy, bouncing up and down himself. Why, I haven't seen one of these in years, said the boy's grandmother. She put a hoop around her waist and gave it a spin. George tried the hula hoop too. Then George pretended to be a wheel. He rolled and rolled and oops, he rolled right into the owner. The owner shook her head. I knew you were trouble, she said. Now you've made a mess of my new store. Again, she tried to stop George. And again, George was too quick. In only a second, he was around the corner and on the highest shelf. Below him, George saw a little girl point to a toy out of reach. Mommy, can we get that dinosaur? She asked. George picked up the dinosaur and lowered it to the girl. She was delighted. So was the small boy next to her. Could you get the ball for me, please? He asked George. George reached up and grabbed the ball and bounced it to the boy. May I have that puppet way over there? Asked another girl. How lucky that George was a monkey. He swung off the shelf, hung onto a light, picked up the puppet, and put it right into her hands. What a show, shouted a boy. The children held up their new toys and cheered. What a commotion. Immediately, the owner came running, and then came the man with the yellow hat. I think we've had enough monkey business for one day, the owner frowned. Just then, a girl got in a long line to pay. What a great store, she said. What a great idea to have a little monkey helping you, her father told the owner. I guess you're right, the owner replied and smiled. Then she gave George a special surprise. Thank you, George, she said. My grand opening is a success because of you. Perhaps monkey business is the best business after all. The end. So, do you think George is going to be working at the toy store? He has an apron and a hat. Well, that would be an interesting toy store to go to, wouldn't it? Which could you imagine seeing a monkey swing around in a store? That would be silly. Well, I enjoyed our reading together today. We read Curious George Visits a Toy Store, and we read Brown Bear, What Do You See? I enjoyed you so much tonight, and I'm going to get ready for bed. I'm going to snuggle up, and I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. I'll see you then.